Hey everyone, welcome to the Canadian Entertainment Network channel. This is Future Ryan jumping in here real quick just before we get into the actual content of this video. So I can give you guys some context on kind of what's going on here. Because we did record intro when we shot this, but the intro was quite a shit show. We went on a bunch of crazy random tangents that ended up being 4 to 5 minutes of completely useless bullshit. So so I figured I'd just cut it all and then just come in here and just, shoot this quick intro to set this up. So Mark and I decided over the weekend to shoot a podcast. We specifically about E3 that just happened in June. We both had a lot of opinions and things we wanted to talk about with regards to the games that were shown there and the conferences and whatnot. And we figured it'd be kind of cool to talk about these things together and record it as a sort of podcast. So that's what we did, and we're going to be airing, our discussions on the channel. I think it's going to be in 2 episodes because our discussion went about 3 hours, I think. So we'll do 2 hour and a half episodes. So the second one should be coming fairly shortly after this one. But yeah, basically what I'm thinking is we'll just have footage of the trailers from the conferences playing while Mark and I talk about them, and then we're gonna put up ratings. We rated every game we talked about, so those will come up after we're done. Then move on to the next footage of the game and our discussion of that, etc., etc. It'll make sense as soon as we roll into it here. And then when we're not talking about anything specific or I don't have any footage, you'll probably just see some random stock footage in the background like you are now of us, playing Overwatch or Borderlands or something. Okay, peace. Okay, with that said, then let's get into it. I figured we'd go in chronological order, so that starts us with the EA conference. Mark, your opening thoughts.
I was disappointed. I mean, some of the games were pretty good, but honestly, like Anthem and Battlefield 5 were like everything for that conference for me.
Yes, see, when you say some, that's literally it, is Anthem and Battlefield 5. It's really,
Yeah, like I don't know. EA's really fallen down with like the microtransactions and
yeah,
the
they just
pay to win aspects of like all their games thus far.
they've been taking a lot
Um,
of L's.
yeah. But with that being said, uh, Battlefield 5 and Anthem, I think, are saving graces, so to say, for EA. Battlefield 5 is the game I want to start with, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Um,
let's start with Battlefield 5. We'll do that one first and then move into Anthem.
well, I've been watching like live gameplay from YouTube recently, and my biggest worry about going into Battlefield 5 was since it was going back to World War II instead of more modern, because I know a lot of people were really wanting like a Bad Company 2 feel to a game, which Battlefield 1 did not bring at all. Uh, I from the gameplay I've seen, a lot of people are really happy with how fast paced it's being. I'm super stoked to play a Battlefield game that's fast paced again.
Mm.
I'm just happy that Battlefield, unlike a lot of different companies, they're actually like listening to consumers and they're pushing the game into the correct way, into the right way. Um, it looks awesome. The gunplay looked amazing. Like it actually took a lot of skill. It wasn't just auto aim kill.
Yeah, and the
It
graphics
looked
seem top
like
notch again.
yeah, and like it just seemed like it takes a lot of skill. It's top notch graphics, and it doesn't look like it's going to get old anytime soon. And to top it all off, this is a hit at COD, by the way. They have Battle Royale, which I'm really looking forward to because if anybody's going to do a Battle Royale game correctly, it's going to be DICE with how big their maps are anyway. Like COD's
Yeah,
going to just get shit on in that aspect, and they're not getting rid of a campaign.
true. See, that's
Like,
like I mean, I don't know, I wasn't like going crazy hype over Battlefield 5. Like, I'll probably get it. But yeah,
Oh
like
man,
that's
I'm so hyped.
the main thing about Battlefield 5 for me that like, pushes it over the top to yes, I'm going to buy this versus, something like Black Ops 4 is we still get a campaign like you said. And yeah, this Battle Royale map, like a lot of people are going to talk shit like, "Oh my God, Battle Royale is stupid." Like, okay, it might be you might be sick of it, but let's like you said, if anybody's going to do a Battle Royale mode right in the AAA title scene, it is going to be DICE with Battlefield 5, not fucking Treyarch with Black Ops 4 and not anybody else for that matter. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the battle royale looks like, and I
Well,
mean, go on.
see, with the battle royale mode on Battlefield, though, I just feel like they have so much freedom in what they can do. Like with like building destruction, that was um, a huge aspect of Battlefield coming into next gen consoles. Like uh, I remember there was a meme between COD Ghosts and Battlefield where it was COD Ghost map dynamics and it showed like a couple of tree trunks falling down versus Battlefield where a whole building got knocked down. There was a tidal wave and everything.
Mm,
I just feel like instead of there being like storms and gas closing in, like all the mainstream battle royale games are getting nowadays, I almost feel like they're gonna take different strides and make it so it's not gonna be just one circle after the next, but it's gonna be small portions of the map, not in any specific order, will be getting shut down by some kind of dynamic events. Like you could see
that'd
an
be cool.
entire yeah, like you could see an entire city get bombed. You could see um like gas come in from another place completely sectioning off a forest. You could see like a tidal wave knocking out part of the map. Like you could see all these different things, and I just feel like if anybody has anything to contribute to a battle royale game to make the game genre, because that's exactly what it is too. It is a new genre that I know a lot of people are getting sick of, but I don't know. I'm still really enjoying them. I've always loved the concept of battle royale,
Hmm.
and yeah, I just feel like Dice is gonna have plenty of tricks up their sleeves to make battle royale fresh and exciting for veterans that have gotten sick of battle royale and newcomers like us. Like we're pretty new. We just got into battle royale on Fortnite,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like it's going to be fresh. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to invigorate a lot of people.
Okay. Well, we should keep it moving. So let's. I was kind of thinking we should do this with every game that we talk about. Give that kind of like 1 to 10 rating for how excited you
Yeah.
are for it and the probability you'll buy it. So what would that rating be for you for Battlefield 5?
Well, in actually how hyped I am for the game, probably an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. And then the probability of me buying it's a 10 out of 10. I'm pretty sure I already pre-ordered it.
Okay. Okay, so one number then would it be in the middle of that? Like if you were like put those two numbers together, you'd be like a 9 out of 5, a 9.5, or like what
Yeah,
do you
I'd say
say?
so. 9 9.5.
9.5? Okay. Just to keep it one number because I'm gonna throw it on the screen. Like Mark says, 9.5, Battlefield 5. Okay. For me, it's I originally had it at like a 3 way back when the conference first happened, but as I've been watching
Yeah.
gameplay and thinking about it, I have it actually at a 6 or 7 right now. Let's say 7 because you getting a game usually increases the likelihood that I'll get it because I can hear from you firsthand if it's worth it or not. So
Let's see.
yeah,
Like,
I'll say a 7.
man, I'm actually so surprised that you're still on the fence about getting it just because of how much we played the shit out of like Battlefield 3
Battlefield
and
3 and
how
4
much
were fantastic games. Yeah.
and I like it's going back to that style
Yeah.
of game.
You're
But
right. Yeah, maybe okay. I think it's just because Battlefield 1, me not
three
getting that
off.
kind of like turned me off of the whole series, but I that's definitely not fair. Still, only a 7 just to be a bit cautious about it. I don't. I'm sure I'll end up getting it, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it though. Moving on though, the only other game worth talking about from EA is Anthem. So you want to start
Yes.
again? Go for it.
Uh, well, I'm super hyped for it, but at the same time, super hesitant.
Hmm.
Um, I'm hyped because it's something new and fresh in terms of story. Like, there's it's hard to explain, but it's a game where the old gods have kind of left behind all these footprints, and there is a young upcoming civilization that is trying to make sense of everything, make sense of it all. And the best way I can describe um what I feel like Anthem is going to become is there is an anime. I know you're gonna roll your eyes at me, but
I just won't know what you're talking about, but go on.
Attack on Titan. So it
Okay, I'm
was,
familiar enough with that to know essentially what you're
yeah,
talking about.
like it's a civilization trapped behind these walls that are supposed to protect them. But as time goes on, they're realizing that they're not as invulnerable as they think they are, and it's a super interesting concept considering since you're being confined behind these walls and you're not leaving, there's so much of the world out there that is changing and that is being forgotten. So the possibilities of what they can do with Anthem are endless because like they brought up the fact that there is an old race that should be treated like gods that has left behind all these like just scientific anomalies and just you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Like the storms and
like
shit that keep happening all over the game
yeah,
world, and like the tech that's left behind.
yeah. It's kind of like Horizon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good point.
And like
Best
it's
game of the
just so
last year.
much yeah, it's so much potential for new content and everything like that. But why I'm hesitant
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm. Preach.
they're
Go on.
saying so much of the same shit Destiny has
Yes.
said over the years. And God, I want to like Destiny so bad. But they did well at the beginning of Destiny 2, and then that's about the only time they did well.
Yeah. Allow me to go off for a bit if I might.
You can go
Yes.
right ahead.
See, because this is why I'm in the same boat as you with Anthem, is because of my whole history with Destiny as a series. Like that first Destiny game, you and I were both so hyped for it, and at launch we played the shit out of it, and I just remember getting so tired of it so quickly because I realized how empty of a game it was. And we Anthem is very dangerously close of having the same thing happen to it, where it's like, oh my god, look at this game, look how amazing it sounds, look how amazing it looks, and then what if we get it and it's going to be just a empty hollow shell like Destiny was, and then just that's where the worry comes from is that because you can't help but look at Anthem and just kind of see Destiny a bit, like just in terms of the I guess the playable characters you have, and I don't want to say the world because, like you said, the world is unique, and the story is different than what we were dealing with in Destiny. But the whole four-player co-op thing, and like these suits with powers and shit, and the gunplay. Although I think based on the gameplay we saw, it looks like it's third person over the shoulder or something like that,
Yes. Yeah, it is going to be
versus
third
Destiny being first person. So that's a nice difference there. Um, so see, and now the reason that I don't think it's gonna be like Destiny is if it turns out being like Borderlands. Because what we've seen of Anthem, a lot of it reminds me of Borderlands 2, like in terms of the looting and and like the gameplay. And so I think Anthem will do well to not go down the path of Destiny and go down the path of Borderlands. If it makes itself infinitely replayable through its looting and shooting, then I think it has the potential for being a really fantastic game that we play for a really long time. It's just a matter of like which path it decides to go down and how much the developers care about this game. And it is BioWare, so they do have a good, other than Andromeda, they do have a good track record. So I think we can
Yeah.
trust what they're doing with Anthem. It's just they need to make sure that they give us exactly what they're selling, and they don't overhype anything that they they aren't absolutely 100% sure is going to be in the game and working flawlessly.
And you brought up what I actually wanted to bring up about it being BioWare. Now, um, I don't know how many people have been doing their homework on Anthem like I have, but like, despite I, how much Destiny fucking angers me, um, I'm very hyped for Anthem. Just the potential of it all.
Exactly, it's the
Uh, and
potential.
and like with BioWare, yeah, because I even now I still go back and play Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I fucking love the shit out of them. I love all the characters and the stories they brought. And I've, like I said, if you guys have been doing your homework like I have been, I've been watching interviews, I've been watching like behind the scenes uh, videos on Anthem, and a lot of the developers, which, and it's a good sign, is that they want to make a story. They want to have a very vibrant story, but they want to make sure that it is not a story that's going to be told for just one person. They want a story that like you can get into a fire team like it is in Destiny or whatever they're going to call it in Anthem. They want you to get into this fire team and they want you to go and experience the story together. Um, Now, how deep that story is going to be all depends on BioWare. Like I said, well, like Ryan said, the it is BioWare and their track record is good with story-based games, and I think Anthem will go as far as their story lets them.
Exactly. See, the story is key because that was one of the main things I had against Destiny 1 was the story was absolutely ass. So if Anthem can
Yeah.
pull off a good story with some nice replayability through the looting system, then yeah, it can be a really good game. Because we saw some of the enemies in that demo they showed, and they look pretty cool. Like that big ass
Well,
spider thing that came out at the end,
yeah,
like that's so dope.
that
And if there's
boss.
if there's a bunch of like layer bosses like that and raid bosses, Lord help me if there's raid bosses. Like
Well, what
that's
I
where it
really,
comes from.
really, what I really, really want from an end game is Destiny. I think they had an amazing idea with uh, raids.
Hmm.
I think they had an amazing idea, but I think they were very close-minded when they limited it to 6 people.
Yeah, poor execution. Great
And
idea, poor execution.
but and like, see, I don't mind if the game becomes harder if you want to do it with less people because, well, like with Ryan and I, our our two best friends, Jarvis and Nick, they hardly play games anymore. Jarvis not at all, except Fortnite because he can get it on his fucking Mac. Or Nick, not as much just because he doesn't have access to the systems as easily. But besides that, him and I get pretty annoyed with people online. Like there are people we go offline if they're on,
Yeah,
and it's like the I just feel like it would be so fun to be able to do these raids with just 2 people.
yeah,
I get if they're harder, but see the way Destiny made it is they made it completely impossible, and they made it completely unnecessarily hard to get yourself to the point of being able to do these raids. It's like especially without the outside help of other people that have gone through what you were trying to go through just to play a fucking raid. I It's overly difficult and I think it is a big mistake to limit your players.
yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake, just put in the extra effort and then just balance these raids based on this is assuming Anthem even has raids, but just for the sake of argument, to even to even just do a little extra effort and balance raids based on how many people are in your team. So if there's 2 teams, well then okay, this amount of enemies will spawn with this much HP, etc., etc. Like That's all Bungie really had to do, unless I'm being really, benign about the entire process of game development. But like, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty possible. And like, for fuck's sake, Borderlands has done it with their raid bosses. Now these aren't raid missions; they're just bosses. But the bosses were advertised as bring a team of four, or else you're not going to beat them. But that wasn't actually true. You could beat them with two, or even solo them with the right builds and the right guns, and
And
that's what it's about right there.
and it wasn't even like mainstream builds. It's not like you're limited to playing a certain way just because somebody on the internet was like, "Hey, I soloed this boss with this build. Copy it and fucking beat him with that." No, because the Ryan and I in that game, he was Zero, I was Craig, and we ended up making builds that would buff the shit out of Craig's melee damage with the death mark and everything. And we defeated I think every raid boss in that game.
Yeah, dog. Even Veracitus.
Yeah, and fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
fuck that guy's right.
Like I just think you need to allow players to be able to do whatever they want in your game and not limit
Hmm.
it just because you
Preach.
need 6 people.
And this is what to bring it back. This is what Anthem needs to be careful about doing versus not doing. See, they need to
Yeah.
go the Borderlands way, not the Destiny way, and then this could be a really, really good game.
Yes.
That actually, for some reason, has EA on the package. Like, wow, who would have thunk it? But as long as they also keep their grubby hands away from BioWare and let them do this thing.
Yeah, if EA polices everything BioWare is doing, it could be a major flop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, to keep ripping on Destiny, I apologize if there's any Destiny fans watching this,
Oh,
but
fuck you.
it was Bungie. It was Bungie making Destiny, which is why it got so much hype because it should have been a fantastic game. But you just
With
know
Halo.
that Activision got its hands on Bungie with Destiny. Like you got to
Yeah.
imagine it wasn't just Bungie that fucked up Destiny alone because Bungie has the entire Halo series as its track record. So you got to
And
imagine Activision probably fucked around a bit.
and Halo, like, let's be honest, it's been well, up till like the recent installments, it was the biggest game.
Yeah, it was like nothing but god tier every installment.
Yeah, yeah, and it's still my favorite franchise just for the sentimental nostalgia value of it. And contrary to popular belief, I actually like the new games, but fuck me, right?
Eh, everybody's allowed to have differing opinions.
Yeah. Well, I just fucking love that universe.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. Anthem. What would you rate it?
I have Anthem at a 7 right now.
Out of 7?
Yep. Same as Battlefield.
See, I have for in terms of hype value 10. I just I'm in love with the potential of the game. I it honestly it could be partially because I really want Borderlands 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Um
True. This is like a nice Anthem is like a nice replacement or slash placeholder for Borderlands 3 until that comes
yes.
out. If
But
nothing else.
actual rating just because of how much potential it has to flop, I'll probably I'll probably give it a 7.5.
7.5 is where you're.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair. All right, that's EA. Check that bitch off because they didn't have anything else except sports games and cringe in that conference. So,
Yeah.
fuck, how much time did they waste on that stupid mobile game? Oh my god.
Oh, Command and Conquer.
Let's not
Yeah.
even get into that. Let's just okay. Next up,
Wait, but hold on, hold on.
okay,
You have
yes.
you have EA with Command and Conquer, and then fucking Bethesda whips their big dick out with the fucking Elder Scrolls
Oh
mobile
my
game.
god, true. Okay, we'll
Anyway,
get to
that's
that. We'll
that's
get
for
to that.
weekend. Yeah.
Next up, chronologically, excuse me, was Microsoft. So, Microsoft conference, go.
I'm starting. Okay.
We'll just start with the
Um,
conference itself, and then we'll get into the games.
for the conference? For the conference itself, it was fucking awful.
Not great. Not great.
um, all the fucking reviews and shit I saw where it's just like Microsoft knocked it out of the park. Holy shit! I think you're fucking dropped as a kid.
Oh,
Now,
jeez.
like it was a lot of the same shit as last year. There were a lot of fucking indie games that, and I'm not knocking indie games. If you like it, all power to you. But in terms of popularity, it was not what I think 90% of consumers wanted.
Yeah. And they still have no new IP exclusives.
And yeah,
Like,
that was my second point. Like no exclusives at all. Like the exclusives they have that were worth getting were Gears of War and Halo.
those are both like set in stone, established IPs that have been around on the Xbox forever. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
nothing
and
new that's making me think, fuck me, I need to buy an Xbox. Whereas Sony, they've had PlayStation 3s and 4s selling themselves on The Last of Us and Bloodborne literally since those games have come out. And that's only two. I could name so many more. And it's like,
yeah.
Xbox, where are your versions of The Last of Us and Bloodborne? They
Yeah,
don't
no, and
exist.
like everything that was super interesting in this conference came like out and it didn't say exclusive, it said world premiere
Said,
or
well, yeah,
something else.
it's like Microsoft paid all this money to just premiere these games, but you know we're all gonna buy these on PS4.
Yeah,
Anyway, like I mean
anyway.
that's kind of it almost seemed like Microsoft knew that too. Like that's why they came out with so many games. Like they literally splooged all over their conference with like what was it like 50 games.
Yeah, that was their
Meanwhile,
big selling point.
yeah, it's like
At the
look at
very
all these
beginning, it's just
games.
like, hey, look, I have a big dick and we're showing 50 games.
It's like okay, Sony can show 5 and still have a better conference because it's quality over quantity, and Microsoft doesn't
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah.
Anyway, okay, so let's get into the games. What do you want to start with?
Well, I have at the top of my list Halo.
Okay, so you talk about the Xbox ones. I don't have much to say about them.
Okay, so for Halo Infinite, as I mentioned back in the EA conference with Bungie, I fucking love Halo. I love everything about Halo. It is it is the game I grew up on. It is the first game I ever played. Uh, it's such a beloved series for me. Now, with the trailer, I think I need a lot more to go off
Hmm.
because I don't think it is a successor title. I don't think it is taking place after the events of Halo 5. Um, if you saw in the trailer, it showed the Halo ring, it showed squads moving around this big environment, it showed obviously a squad and a warthog, it showed it was a lot of showing off the environment. Now, what I think this is pointing at is we're going to be getting a unique Halo game as where it's not going to be a successor, like I said, but to me, it honestly looked like it could become an MMO. So you're basically going to be set in an MMO environment. Obviously, like you'll have all these missions you need to do, like any other MMO, but it's all set on this Halo ring that you're on. There'll be end goals, blah 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 blah. But I don't think it is a true successor, and for this reason, I need more to go off of for it. But I'm excited, but also at the same time hesitant because I'm worried about where it's going.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, this is me as an outsider just looking in because I've never owned an Xbox, never played the Halo series except at your house. But I think look at Elder Scrolls Online. That did pretty well for itself. So I think once these IPs get to a certain point in their lifespan, going for an MMO seems to actually work for a lot of fans. So if Halo
And
Infinite is an MMO and they do it well, I'm sure it'll be good.
and you know what? I'm sure it will be, but I don't think it's what fans are wanting.
Okay, I mean, fair enough.
Like it could be a smash hit or a surprise hit, but at the same time, you shouldn't go into it thinking it's going to be something and it turns out to be something completely different.
So you guys just want Halo 6.
I would love Halo 6, but like that then again, all I'm saying is I need to see more of Halo Infinite
Right? Fair enough.
because there's no telling how much I'll enjoy it. Like no matter what, I'm fucking gonna get whatever it is. That's just because of who I am as a person. But I'm still hesitant, considering I don't know if it's gonna be the next installment.
Okay. So is it worth giving a rating for, or do you want to just move on?
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
7? Okay. All right. 7 out of 10 on the screen. Next.
Gears of War 5.
Is it 5 or 4?
5.
Oh, it's 5 now. Oh, shit. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
again, this is all you, dude.
Right. Well, I I know there's a lot of diehard Gears of War fans, and I am too. I just not to the same extent most people are, but I think it looks great. I imagine it's going to be another great story, gore-filled game,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much all I get out of it personally. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I know that they're not going with the traditional like Marcus Phoenix or even last game he played as his son for the game. But I don't know. I still feel like it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be new, um, and I'm hoping since it's going to be going to basically where all of this started, where the games originated. I feel like you're going to see a lot of stuff that you haven't seen in any of the games before, and I don't know. It is a good opportunity to wave their big dick around and make something quite new for a game that is a, it's a fucking must grab every game that comes out for it. It's a must get. Um, and then obviously, just a spin off of Gears of War, they had the Gears of War um, Pop game, which kill yourself. And then Gears Tactics, I think is what it was called. Um, Gears Tactics, honestly, I think it looks good, but I'm worried it might be uh, low budget due to our Microsoft milking how successful of a franchise Gears has become. Uh, so yeah, I mean it's going to be on my radar. Gears Tactics and Gears War 5 obviously is a must get. Um, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. Gears of War 5 definitely. Gears Tactics no, not yet. Anyway, uh, and for a rating, Gears of War alone, like Gears 5, I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
All right. And then the next game you can contribute on finally,
Yay.
uh, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2077. Yes. Okay. Here, I'll start with this one.
Okay.
um, this is probably one of the. Okay, so you always have to be careful with these, but cinematically speaking, this is probably one of the better trailers from the entire E3, just because of how good the graphics and the music work together, and like all the different clips they showed, how fast paced it was. It just seems like something that's going to be a really cool, fun game to play. If what we've been shown in this trailer is what the game is like, because you always have to be careful, right? Like with throwback to Watch Dogs, when the trailer looked amazing and then we got the game and it was super dumbed down and not nearly as expansive and extravagant as it was shown to be. But like the thing about Cyberpunk 2077 that has me hyped but then also not too worried is the developers are CD Projekt Red, who of course made Witcher 3, which is of course one of the best free roam games of recent time. I haven't actually played a lot of Witcher 3, but just everybody I've talked to who has played it has just loved. Like you've played Witcher 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Then like thoughts on the game, just quickly.
Yeah. Well, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah. I mean
There's
like
so much you need to say about it, but like it's obviously a AAA title. And it's rightfully so.
yeah.
It deserves all the praise it gets.
So like if anybody's going to be making like a futuristic like Ready Player One-esque setting free
Yes.
roam game, like I got vibes of Ready Player One from that trailer.
Yes.
Like with the
Yeah.
kid with the
No,
gun and the
absolutely.
VR. Like, oh my God, so much. And like, oh, and this
Well,
city
yeah,
was
the
rated
whole
most dangerous. Like go on, what are you gonna say? The whole
no, just the whole like universe of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's so similar to
it is. And like
Ready Player One.
and if it's a free roam game in this like futuristic setting, I don't really know what the game's going to be about, but that's fine because I have faith in CD Projekt Red and honestly just based on that cinematic trailer alone, it looks like a really interesting, fun game. I just can't wait to see more, especially gameplay. I can't wait for
Well,
gameplay.
well, this is actually what they showed was the second trailer.
What?
Did you watch the first one?
No, I didn't know.
The first one actually came out a few years ago. This has been in the works for about 3 years
Oh
since the first project,
shit.
first trailer came out. If you want to go and look it up right now, you can. Just cut back to the video once you're done watching it.
Okay. Well, okay, so once again, super cinematic trailer that does nothing but get me hyped for whatever this could possibly be.
Yeah, and like we said, Project Red, The Witcher, you give a company like that, like insert fucking Liam Neeson in the A team. Give him an hour, he's good. Give him 3 days, he's great. Give him a month, he's unstoppable. Give them all this time,
Yeah, that was
like
5 years ago. Like what?
5 years ago for a for that kind of a trailer.
My
Can
world
you
is rocked
imagine
right
how
now.
much work is gonna be like how much work has gone into this game?
Yeah, surely like this must be some kind of like passion project for them to have gone on that long. Like this is on
Yeah,
Horizon Zero Dawn levels of like time that it's been worked on. And look
yeah.
how well
So
Horizon Zero Dawn turned out.
yeah, and you know what? I'm super hyped, and I cannot wait for gameplay. And like what I said, like what I have written here in my notes is looks great from what we've actually seen, and open world is always a plus.
Yes.
Both aspects, you're gonna be just fucking blown away. Like I'm almost 100% certain this is going to be a game that you're gonna play, and you're gonna like put the controller down, look outside, and say, "Oh, fucking 20 years has gone by."
Where has my life gone? Where did this child come from?
Oh, my wife left me.
Oh shit.
But like, I don't know. It'll be great to actually have a game like that again.
Hmm. Well, okay.
Anything else you want to
No,
add
that
to
that pretty much
Cyberpunk?
that pretty much covers it. Um, like for me, uh, it's so far out. I don't want to give it like a really high rating, but like I can't help but be super hyped for it. So I'm gonna give it at least an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I'd probably give it about the same, just because like on one hand, it's obviously the game itself is in good hands, and we've seen from the actual trailers how beautiful the game could be. We still haven't seen gameplay,
We need to see gameplay and we
and
need to see story, I think is the other thing.
yes, and both I'm absolutely sure we'll get, and when we get it, it will be a 10
Yeah,
for
bump
me.
that shit up to a
But
10. Yeah.
yeah, but for now, with the as low as the probability may be, it could be a fucking top-down indie type game with just really nice cinematics, and it could have no story and just be still shit. Um, and until as low of a probability as that is, like I said, until that is completely not in the air anymore, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What's next?
I have the Division 2.
Okay. Right. Okay. Save that for Ubisoft. We'll save that for Ubisoft.
Okay, it's gonna be short-lived anyway.
Yeah, and we're not gonna say much on that.
Foreshadowing. Um, next, what I have here is Devil May Cry 5.
Okay, I didn't actually write that one down. I have zero opinions for Devil May Cry 5, but if you have some, please share.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. It now, like we said, Microsoft was a very, very big fail. Um, but what made me want to put Devil May Cry on here instead of throwing it into the rest of Microsoft's conference and how much of a letdown it was. I I don't know. The actual trailer of it looked like a very interesting art style. Uh it looked like it was worth getting, worth playing. It looked like it had a vibrant story. It just isn't for me,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Like honestly, I see
But
where
it
you're coming from.
looks
The trailer did look really
it
cool.
yeah, and it looks like a game that I could possibly have fun in. I just maybe if I gave it a chance, I'd be hyped for it. But as it stands right now, this is more a game that I'm sure 90% of the population will like. I'm just part of the 10%.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
fair
all I
enough.
have to say for it.
All right.
I don't even think I should be giving it a rating.
No, I
Um,
wouldn't.
Now I have Sekiro.
Yes, let's do this. Shadows die twice. All right.
Um, you can start. Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, this is gonna be a tale of two very different stories, because when I first saw this trailer, um, I was disappointed. Shoot me now if you must. Okay, actually, don't
I
shoot
think I've
me.
already done
Let me
that.
let me explain myself. Okay, so ever since that little teaser we got, I believe that was last year. The theories for Bloodborne 2 being FromSoft's next game have been endless, and Bloodborne being one of my favorite games of all time, that was pretty much all I wanted out of FromSoft from this E3 was an announcement for Bloodborne 2. And so when I saw the FromSoft logo come up and I saw that it wasn't Bloodborne because it was Japanese, I was pretty instantly disappointed. And again, like Marcus pointed out, I'm not a big fan of the whole, Japanese aesthetic. Doesn't always do it for me. So yeah, I was watching this trailer and I was like, I'm seeing him fight a bunch of, humans. It was like, well, this isn't really Dark Souls. Where are all the monsters and shit? And so I kind of wrote off the trailer from the start, but then I was like, the more the more Mark talked about how much he loved it, and the more I came back to watch the trailer again and read about it, and the more I just kind of sat back and thought about it, I was like, I am being way too much of a bitch about this because I didn't get Bloodborne 2. This game is probably gonna be amazing. Like, it's from Soft, first of all, so that's an instant win. Second of all, I wasn't sold on Bloodborne when I first heard about it, and now look at me. Um, and it's like
Addict.
I'm an addict. I played it through 3 times, and I'm sure some of you are gonna be like, "Oh, that's rookie numbers. You gotta pump those numbers up." But like, 3 times for my first Dark Souls or Dark Bloodborne. No, what do they call it? Soulsborne. 3 times for my first Soulsborne game was I thought was a lot, and I platinumed it, and I fought all the bosses and the dungeons and whatnot. Like that game, I love the shit out of that game, and so I was like, you know what? I do want to play Sekiro Shadows Die Twice because it's from Soft. It's, you know what? The new setting could actually be really interesting. I've always wanted an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan, so I guess this is the next best that we'll get for that aesthetic. And Mark will talk more about like the other gameplay aspects. The other thing that I mentioned I didn't like was the lack of monsters. But let's be honest, this has been one trailer, and there actually were monsters in the trailer.
Yeah,
There was that
like
big ass
yeah,
guy.
a snake,
Like, oh no, fuck the snake at the end. True. No,
serpent.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's like,
What do you
and
say, bro?
coming in and attacking the bridge. So if there's like plenty of monsters like that, then you know what, this game's gonna be fantastic, and I will be first at the door to get it when it comes out.
Yeah, like
Your
I'm
turn.
sure it'll have enough monsters to please a Lovecraftian like you.
Yeah. See, I
Um,
just love the Lovecraftian theme. I'll miss that in this game, but you know what? I am down for feudal Japan. Just because I don't like anime doesn't mean I can't be down with that. So let's have it.
well, it's not even like a matter of anime. It's just
No, it's not.
I don't know.
I shouldn't have said
I
that.
just love the whole aesthetic of ninjas and samurai. I don't know. I fucking love it. Anyway, so for me, uh, what I wrote down was From Software plus Japan plus parkour, even though it's limited, equals endless fucking hype. Like one gripe I have with uh the Soulsborne games,
Soulsborne, I think is what
um,
they call them. Yeah.
and like I've been playing since Dark Souls 2. I know I never got to play Dark Souls. I will go back to it eventually, but I played every Soulsborne game since. And man, one gripe I've always had is the lack of movement. Like
Mm.
I get it. You can roll and like, dodge enemy attacks and everything, but like all I can think of is how cool it would be to just like fucking jump down on a group of monsters and completely catch the element of surprise and everything like that. And in this game, you fucking can. He fucking has a grappling hook in his goddamn arm. He fucking jumped 20 feet and air assassinated a guy. I'm so fucking hyped for that. Um, and yeah, like feudal Japan, I am so beyond down. It is one of my fucking favorite his parts of history. Like when For Honor came out. Oh Jesus Christ! But when For Honor came
Oh
out,
God.
all like all I played were the fucking Japanese fighters. Fucking Orochi was my bitch. I got so good with them too. Anyway,
You can go watch a video on our
I just
channel.
solo. Um, but yeah, I'm just super hyped to be able to play because yeah, Bloodborne was and is one of my favorite games of all fucking
Mhm.
time. Like it's the game like I got Ryan into getting it. It came out and for like the fucking week that it first came out, I kept like looking at Ryan in math class. I remember this perfectly and I'm like, bro, you gotta fucking play this game. It's all I can think about. And
And it's one of the best
it,
decisions I've ever made to listen to you.
you're welcome. And yeah, no, my seriously, my hope for the Sekiro is that it's gonna beat out Bloodborne for sure for my favorite game from them. Um,
Wow.
I'm almost positive. It's
Wow.
just I fucking love it so much. Uh, what I did right though is give it more monsters than what we saw, just for that From Software touch, that
Yeah.
Soulsborne touch. Like obviously Ryan Lovecraftian would fucking love that.
Mhm.
Um, and obviously from Souls games, you're fighting like fucking there are fucking dragons in it and everything. It needs mythological touch to it.
Yes.
And obviously with the serpent, we know we get a bit of that, but I'm worried to the extent we're gonna get. I just hope it's more than less.
Retweet. Sorry, I said that. Okay.
Yeah.
Rating?
Rating, honestly, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's an 8.5. Yeah. I mean,
Only judging you a little.
I just want to see more. That's all.
I know, I know.
That's all I'm saying. 8 out of 8.5 is still, I think, the
I
highest
know
I've
it's
given yet.
yeah. Well, no,
Uh,
I think you gave. I might have given.
oh, whatever.
I
What's
think it
the?
might have been Battlefield. Fuck it.
No,
Anyway,
you gave Battlefield 5 a high
yeah.
one. I gave it a 7.
Oh, fair enough. Maybe. I don't know.
All right. So what do we
Anyway,
got next?
uh, I have down here Dying Light 2.
I didn't write that one either. I didn't play the first one, and I probably won't play this one. But
Really?
yeah, no, I'm unless it comes out and people are like, "Oh my God, best zombie game in a decade, like game of the year candidate, blah blah blah." Then I might pick it up, but otherwise, no, I will not be getting it.
All right, fair enough. I mean, see, okay, I played the first Dying Light and I loved it.
Mhm.
Not like my favorite game of all time or anything, but Dead Island. That was basically
Ooh,
the game
throwback.
competing with it, and it blew Dead Island out of the water for me. It looks really interesting. Dying Light 2, that is. What I really loved in from the trailer was the karma system. Now, I hate the fact that games have been getting away from the karma system. Like Fallout games had it. The Elder Scrolls might have had it. They at least have it for specific towns and cities still. Like if you uh, commit a crime in a certain city, you're not going to uh, reap the repercussions in other cities.
Mhm.
Now, not a lot of games do that anymore, though, and I fucking hate that they don't do that because I just love how you can be an asshole and everybody responds to you being an asshole. I
Yeah.
love how you can be a hero and a fucking saving grace to people, and they treat you like a saving grace. They'll give you fucking um like you'll go to a town and they're like, holy fuck, it's this guy. We gotta give him all these gifts, or fuck, we'll have to give him a price so he doesn't fuck with us. That kind of thing. I just love how your choices will not only influence the story, but will influence the actual dynamic and the theme of the game. Like they were talking about how you in the trailer they were talking about a water system, and you could either share the wealth, and then there would be a government that comes in and will start moderating it, but the government will be full of assholes and they'll start um, causing a very over controlling and uh, a tyrant type of government on the citizens, which sucks. But it could be worse, which was the other option where water starts getting placed on the black market. And then there would be these groups of bandits and um, just policing everybody that it was just the worst option you'll find. Uh, they'd be fighting you, they'd be killing civilians, they wouldn't let people have the water. And I just love how that'll change the entire environment of the game from one small choice. So with that whole, that's like the number one reason I'm actually hyped for the game. Just because I know the gameplay mechanics and everything from the first one. It was really fun. It was really enjoyable. It was new parkour zombies game. Super cool.
True.
And I love fucking not fucking zombies, but I love uh zombie parkour games. Like, well, I love the fact that it was a zombie parkour game. It's the first of its kind. It was very interesting.
Yeah, and it's hard to
And
be unique in that genre because of how much has been overdone already. So,
yeah. But the one thing I was scared about this with the trailer was the emphasis on zombies. Like they kept saying, "Oh, you're not gonna want to go out at night. That's when they all come out." And it's just like, "Oh fuck! If that's the only time I'm gonna fucking see them, yes, I'm gonna go out at night." Yeah, I just I hope that there's more zombies than they let on.
right.
Anyway, uh, rating I'll give it either a 6.5 or a 7.
Okay.
Probably a 7.
All right, that seems fair.
All right, next one you're not gonna have anything for any either,
Ugh.
which is it's Jump Force.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned that I fucking love anime. Uh, and this came straight out of fucking left field. When I saw Goku, Naruto, and I haven't seen One Piece, so I don't know his name very well, but the dude from One Piece all fighting together, the size of my dick could
Ugh.
not be measured. I was so erect. Everything about it, just yes. Although I do want to see more characters. Like I know they teased Light Yagami from Death Note, which is super cool. I'll be interested to see how he gets incorporated into a fighting game. Uh, but I don't want them to limit characters to Shonen Jump. Now, I know legally they might not be allowed to put characters. Like one character I really want, well, two. One's very a mainstream choice, like oh, Saitama, which is from One Punch Man. First off, he'd be fucking overpowered, and second off, uh, I don't know if they can put him in there or fucking Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, one of my favorite anime characters of all time. But I would love to see him. Now I'm not sure if they can actually legally get the rights to put him in the game, but it's kind of like the same thing, like guest characters. How Injustice, let's say, they put like Leonardo from TMNT, and they put Sub Zero from
Mortal
God,
Kombat.
from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, they put those guys in the game. Like I really hope that they can pull something similar off Jump Force and the amount of characters they put in, and to get me out of this or get you out of this situation, I'll give it a rating
Thank
of
you.
an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Now the next one, here you go. You can have your fucking like hour-long rant on it because I know you're hyped for it. Metro Exodus.
Yes. Okay. I was hoping that's what you were leading up to. Okay. So I never played the first two. Mark, you know this.
Should
Um,
I can fucking lend you them.
okay. I mean, if you can do that, then fantastic. I'll play them on the channel or something. Um,
Yep.
but I have been sold on this game since I saw it at E3 last year, when they gave us that beautiful cinematic gameplay trailer with John Murphy's "In the House in a Heartbeat" playing in the background. I love that track from the 28 Days Later soundtrack. It's fantastic, and it just works so well with the atmosphere of the world that they were clearly trying to put forward in that trailer. And then this year's trailer, while less, I guess, less memorable, gave us so much more in terms of like gameplay and enemies and all that. And it just solidified how excited I am to finally dive into this series. And it looks like I'm picking a really good one to jump into because I think it looks like they knocked it out of the park with this one. Because it's been a while since the last one, so this is almost like a soft reboot of sorts, where it's not like starting the story over from scratch, but it's like it's clear like they're bringing it to the
Well,
current generation with this one.
yeah. Well, like just to give you, you know, to put it into perspective, the other two have already been remastered.
Okay,
So
see, there you
there's
go.
been a fair amount of time.
Yeah, it's been like, and they still have you playing the same character from the first two.
Artyom.
Aren't I have to learn that name because clearly this dude means a lot to the longtime fans of the series. Um, and like I'm just so ready to finally be a part of this because I'm partially familiar with the game's lore, so I'm just so ready to be a part of this, a part of this story and experience it firsthand. And the monsters, from what I've seen, what they've shown us anyway, look so cool. And I like that it looks like we're gonna get a lot of time outside as much as I guess, in the subways or whatever. Um, like it's going to be like a kind of like you're going to get both gameplays. And I hope that the outside portion is like really super free roam. That would be fantastic. Uh, and yeah, it just looks like a really atmospheric, really fun game. And I cannot wait to play, and I have the date for its release saved in my phone.
Jesus.
Your turn.
All right. Well, somebody who literally got it the day it came out in terms of the first game. Um, I've been a long time fan of the series. It's what blew me away when it first came out was how intricate the game became and how expansive it felt being fine to subway systems in Russia. Like it, it was just the actual production team, the developers. They they need a pat on the back. Like the actual atmosphere of the game is just ingenious. Um, so goes without saying I'm so beyond hyped for Metro Exodus. Um, and what's really even getting me more hyped than uh, without like having the same shit over and over and over is the fact that they are improving gameplay as they're going along. Like we saw the gun customizations, which in the past two games were pretty much unheard of. Um, Going outside more, like I said, in the past two games, you were very confined to subway systems. Um, and they're doing all of these things that are changing the game and keeping the story rolling while keeping the story so deep. Just I cannot wait for the next installment and to see what unfolded after number two.
All right, so rating?
I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah, okay. Same. I have it at a 9 out of 10 as well.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
And that's all I have for Microsoft. So if I missed anything that
Um,
was worth mentioning, obviously.
well, I have three more under Microsoft, but as you pointed out, before we started shooting this, they're also listed under Sony because they're going to be on both platforms. So we can probably just talk about them when we get to Sony.
Okay.
So yeah, well, let's move on to the next one in no, Bethesda. So
Yes.
yeah, Bethesda. Arguably, arguably the best conference of E3.
Not
Uh,
arguably, Ryan. It was the
okay.
best call
Okay,
of
fine. Mark's just
E3.
gonna come out here and just proclaim it, so I'll go along with it. Bethesda was the best conference at E3. Full stop.
Hands down.
I mean, okay, let's be honest. Todd Howard is a blessing to the gaming community.
I would suck that man's dick
Oh, gee. Okay.
if he wanted a Klondike bar. What
Oh,
would he do for a Klondike bar? No, 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 no. It's what I would do to him for a Klondike bar.
oh my goodness. I mean, without
Great.
going to such an extreme, I will concur that yeah, Todd Howard is an absolutely magnificent man. Like I've loved him since his Fallout 4 showcase a couple E3s ago, and he just did it again this E3. He's so charismatic. I don't know why, but he is. And just the way he delivers news about video games is like bar none. And then him and Pete Hines too. Let's give a quick shout out to Pete Hines, the other gem of their conference, for that little jab at at Walmart. Um, like those two are just they're such fantastic gifts to the
Well,
community, and I'm so glad they work at Bethesda.
first off, with Tom Howard, fucking it glows in the fucking dark. Yes. And Pete Hines, what a fucking way to just like their content got leaked and they respond so beautifully with joking about it. Like
Yeah, like
I'm so glad that he is a human being that exists.
anyway,
Ah,
enough raving about the conference and the people that work there. The games itself. I mean, personally, two out of only the four games I actually gave 10 out of 10s to from this conference were from this conference. So I'm super excited to get into this. Let's start, I think, with the big one, Fallout
Fallout.
76. Um, I mean, okay. So, quick background here. Fallout 3 is like one of my favorite games of all time. That's, goes without saying. But the Fallout
Ditto.
series as a whole is kind of like what got me into like legit gaming. Like as a kid playing Fallout 3, that was the game I sunk the most hours into, and that would last until Borderlands 2 took it over a couple years ago. Fallout 3 was the most played game in my inventory, and for good reason. And Fallout New Vegas, I love that game too. I loved it so much, I worked up a 10 gigabyte save file that no longer would load on my PS3. But anyway, so Fallout 4, I'm still working through. It's a big game, and I have a problem with commitment. But anyway, so
Jeez.
Fallout 76, obviously, I was hyped from the minute I saw the West Virginia trailer. West Virginia, I think, is a fantastic location, and using that John Denver song is literal brilliance. I mean, of course, it's it goes without saying that they would use it, but still, literal brilliance just because of how good that song is. And and as soon as Todd said the map is 4 times as big as Fallout 4, I Mark and I were watching it, but and we lost our collective shit when he
Boy,
said that.
fucking what?
Like, man, did you just? I had to like pause the stream just to like collect my shit when he said that. I mean, and then yeah, and then we get to see a bunch of cool ass new enemies. Cause like if you think about it, this is like the earliest after the bombs have fallen that we've ever gotten to experience in a Fallout game. Um, so like the monsters had to be different, and they are, and the ones we've seen so far are so fucking cool. Like that flying bat, whatever the fuck it is, I
Oh my
cannot wait
god.
to fight that. And it's
And
just
not only fight it, but fight it with friends.
yeah, okay, so let's get into that because that's like the big controversy, I guess I should say, around this game is because like there was community backlash I've noticed like literally since the conference about this whole online only multiplayer aspect, and I think uh
What
I
a
mean
bunch of
I'll
fucking bitches.
yeah, I'll let you talk about all your thoughts about it too, but just my thoughts on um this whole co-op backlash bullshit is that it is that exactly what I just said. It's bullshit. I have wanted to have a Fallout game that I could play with Mark and like just fuck around in literally since I got into the series, and we finally have a game where we can play Fallout with friends. I don't understand why people don't recognize the importance of that. Like, I know Fallout is for the single player experience first and foremost. And guess what? I'm sure we'll be getting that with Fallout 5 on the next gen soon enough.
But
So just show some patience and look at the fantastic game we are about to get. I mean, come on. Like, there are nothing. I could see what some people were saying. Like, we're just some stupid kid's going to get the nuke and then nuke my thing that I worked so hard on. Like, you're not in a map. He said it himself. You're not in a map with hundreds of people. It's literally only dozens. You might never run into somebody else in an entire play session for all you know, especially with a map that fucking big. So it's like, you know what? There is still a lot. You're still going to get a lot of the single player experience that we've grown to love with the Fallout franchise. It's just, you know what? Now you get to experience it with friends. That's fantastic, in my opinion. Um, all right, you go.
alright. Y'all a bunch of fucking bitches. No, but well, see, everything Ryan said, but see, people need to realize though, Tom Howard even fucking said it.
Todd.
What?
Did you say Tom or Todd?
Todd.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Did I say Tom?
I heard Tom.
Well, I could be a fucking idiot.
Anyway,
Anyway,
sorry.
Todd Howard is a
Go on.
fucking, or he's a beautiful man, but no, he even fucking said it. It is not a game that is going to be strictly multiplayer. He does not. What their the last thing they wanted to do was to neglect their single player fan base, and they're not doing that at all. If you want to play single player, you can. Nobody is going to stop you. And what he said was it's just going to be a little harder. You don't have to even run into players. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to do anything. He says there is still going to be single player there. Now, to what extent, we don't know yet. He, as much information as we got, we don't know how the atmosphere of the game is going to feel.
Yeah, and we
That'll
don't
come
really
with
have much of a
time.
story yet.
Yeah,
But,
but I'm sure there will be a story.
mhm.
Fucking Todd is not making shit up.
Exactly. Like this is about faith at this point. This is about faith and brand recognition. And you know
Yeah,
what?
like
Fallout has
fuck
that in spades.
and fuck that in Vaughn we trust for Vonderhaar with COD. He fucking sucks my dick for fucking breakfast.
Oh
In
jeez.
Todd we trust. He is so brilliant. The fucking Fallout games have left behind a legacy that you guys need to trust. This game is going to be it's they fucking have knocked it out of the park. Developers even said when it was leaked that it's going to be multiplayer, people there was already a backlash fucking days before it even was announced. and people were backlashing, they were pissed off and everything. And honestly, I would get that too. If it was a fucking Elder Scrolls Online game, I would have been furious. Not to say that Elder Scrolls Online is bad or anything, but it does not belong in a Fallout game. Now, I it's gonna have single player. You guys need to realize that. But there is going to be opportunity finally for me and Ryan to go and fucking explore a fucking town for 3 and 4 hours, pick up 8 side missions, and dick around for 8 months.
And then build a fantastic fortress.
Oh man, you have no idea my fucking plans for that shit.
Oh my god, yeah, the settlements we're gonna create. Holy.
Not only settlements, but like I'm thinking like a house that's gonna take up a quarter.
How's that what?
That'll take up a quarter of the map
A
for
quarter
sure.
of the map. A quarter of the map is apparently the size of Fallout 4.
My house.
Oh,
Problem?
Jesus. Yeah, try nuking
Ah,
that,
bro.
12-year-olds of the internet. All
Uh,
right, so
I don't know. There's just gonna be so much opportunity. It's gonna be so good.
it's gonna be so fun. I think that's the key.
So
It's
much
gonna be
potential.
so much fun. Honestly, like, yeah, I'm sure it goes without saying at this point, but Fallout 76 is one of my 10 out of 10s. Like, absolutely cannot wait to own this. I'm gonna pre-order it so I can get the beta and test it out. Which is honestly, maybe all these people that are so pissed off about the online, pre-order the game, try out the beta, see if you like it. If it's exactly what you thought it was and you don't like it, then cancel your pre-order.
Yeah, get your $5 back.
Exactly. Simple as that.
Go spend it on a fucking foot long and stick it down your throat. You dumb
Oh,
cunt.
oh my. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Your rating, I'm assuming, is also 10?
I'd give it a 9.5.
9.5. Okay, that's fine.
Just kidding. 10.
Oh.
10 for sure.
A 10 out of 10. Slap it.
Honestly, just to put it into perspective, there were games when we were fucking Ryan and I were watching E3 where we were like, oh, we'll give this a 10, this a 10, this a 10, and then I'm just sitting like Fallout 76 is beyond all of these games. Like if I could, I would rate Fallout 76 above a 10.
Yeah, honestly,
Or
like Fallout 76 was the one I used to rate all of these other games by.
yeah,
Well,
and like
that and Last of Us 2, but we'll get to
well,
that.
yeah, at the end of E3, I was honestly thinking like, fuck, maybe I should lower some of the games ratings just based on how good Fallout 76 is.
That says a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're a 10 out of 10.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Next game. What do you got?
Next game, I don't know how much you might have on this, but I've got a bit. Rage 2.
Rage 2. Just side note,
Mhm.
that's one of the developers I didn't get to writing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't have any notes on, so this is all in.
Okay, that's fine. So, did you play the first Rage?
Yes, fucking loved it.
Okay, see, same. Okay. So, yeah, played the first Rage. That was a while ago at this point. It's one of the few games on PS3 that I still actually own, 'cause I sold most of them, but I kept that one because I actually really liked it. And, you know, the best way I could describe it was like Mad Max meets Fallout. At least at the time, that's what it felt like. It obviously wasn't as free roam as Fallout, and we'll talk about that getting into Rage 2. But it was still a really fun game, really cool gameplay, really like interesting and fun factions to fight against, and oh, the Dead City missions were some of the best missions I've ever played in a game.
What
Period.
I think, what I think the first Rage had going for it was at the time, it was an idea that no other game had really done.
That's true.
And it was just so fresh, so new, and like it's something you don't get in games a lot. Like obviously creativity gets to a certain extent, and then it takes great minds to think of something new.
Hmm.
Rage was one of those things that somebody cooked up, and it was so fresh, so new that it was just an instant classic.
Yeah, I couldn't said it better myself. Like, and like, like that's not even to mention yet the car gameplay was actually really fun and really well done. Like those were some of my best, memories from the game were actually like in the vehicle parts. And that's hard to do in some free roam games that have driving. Like sometimes the driving is really ass, cough Borderlands. But like Rage did
Nope.
it really well. And then on top of that, they had really good gameplay, really good guns, and like the little side games in like the towns, like the card game and
Oh
shit.
my god, yeah.
Like or the what do they call that game where you stick the knife in between the hands?
Five finger fillet.
Five figure like those were so fun to do. Like just fuck around and waste time on when you're in a town refueling or some shit. Like it was a really deep game, and the only reason it got some flack was that it wasn't open world enough, and that the ending really sucked. And I will give fans both of those, but
But okay, can I
yeah,
take
go.
it from here?
I could tell you want to
First
say
off,
something.
before I get into the but, I want to just add on to the actual like mini games that were in the town and everything. There are very few mini games that like can eat up as much time as Raged could. Like
Mm,
put in perspective, there is a side section in Resident Evil 7 that was a card game, and it was like infinite. You could go as many times as you want, and my dad and I, we sat there like for fucking hours and hours and hours and hours trying to get to the end, and then once we beat it, there was fucking new difficulties and everything. Rage, its minigames had that aspect. I That's actually one of my most fond memories of that game is sitting next to my dad and him and I just playing the shit out of the mini games.
mm. See, there you go. And that's
And
why this game deserved a sequel.
yeah, and now on to the but. Rage in itself was fucking amazing. And with Rage 2, like the ending was shit and it wasn't as free roam as many people wanted it to be. Um I think I don't think that should be a complaint anymore.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we don't know for the story because we don't know what the story is yet. I'm sure as hell though that it's Bethesda. They're gonna fucking knock a story out of the park at this point.
Well, not only that, it's
And
not. It's ID Software and Avalanche, right? And like ID Software made the first one, and they they heard the fan feedback. They were like, okay, your first game wasn't that free roam as it should have been. They were like, okay, so they go ahead and team up with Avalanche, who exclusively does free roam games, and now we're gonna have the Rage game that we always needed in terms of free
and
roam.
and yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just by the fucking like trailer, seeing all the different like you're in a truck driving through a desert, and then suddenly you're in a like it was almost like a
Yeah,
swamp
like a
forest
muddy,
with
murky swamp shit.
yeah, with these like mutants like lurking in it and everything. It just looks so amazing and just freeing.
You want to
And
know like the best comparison I came up with it for this? The best
but
way I could describe it is think about Borderlands to Borderlands 2. I
yeah,
think that's what we have here with Rage to Rage 2. We have a really
yeah,
good initial concept that was well executed but had some flaws, and the
and that
developers have
was
now taken
refined.
that, they're going to refine the flaws while keeping all the shit that worked, and we're going to have a truly special game, I think.
Exactly, yes. And that is like, oh man, so many game developers need to take notes
Mhm.
on the transition from Rage 1 to Rage 2. Like already it's 100 times better than a great game.
Wow. Quite a claim.
Well, come
No,
on.
I'm totally on
Rage
board
was
with
a
it.
fucking amazing
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
they're flaunting such an amazing masterpiece at us.
Yeah, and I mean they clearly dialed up the action to 11 too, which is just that looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Like running, gunning all over the fucking map. I just can't wait. It's just high octane madness, and
Yeah.
that's exactly the type of action that fits this world
Yeah.
is exactly that.
And one of the things actually, my dad, he liked Rage 1. It was he who got me into it. And one thing he was very concerned about for Rage 2 was that it wasn't going to be taken seriously when he saw the first trailer. And when he saw fucking people coming out and it was a band playing some fucking pretty
Mm.
nutty music um, to show off the game, like that shit works for me and Ryan. Like we fucking love that shit.
Yeah. The more
Pump
bonkers,
our
the better.
adrenaline more, please. Yeah, and but like from like my dad, he likes very serious games. He was very worried until I showed him gameplay. And I think that's what you're gonna find from Rage 2. You're gonna find all sorts of different styles. You're gonna find points where you're kinda like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're gonna find points where it feels like you're playing a heart like string tugging story. And I don't know. I feel like that
We
is
can
an
hope.
aspect not many games have.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited.
All right. So, I mean, ratings wise, I also gave Rage 2 a 10.
Yeah, 10 for me.
Nice.
It's a game you should not miss.
Yeah. And it comes out soon, spring next year. That's so
Yep,
close.
my
Um,
ass is ready.
other than that, I didn't write anything on the Wolfenstein expansion.
On the what, sorry?
The Wolfenstein expansion.
Oh, true. Well, Wolfenstein Youngblood's the new game is coming out. I
Oh.
I need to play the Wolfenstein games. I've always been so interested. My dad is a avid fan, loves them to death. Uh, I need to obviously play them. Um, I've always meant to, and there've always been a game that I say I'll get to later, uh, but I never do. But it's just there are always games that are look really good, but at the time, there's games that are better to play
Yeah.
in my eyes.
Wolfenstein's always
Like,
had that problem for me too.
and yeah, but I feel like uh, coming soon, I'm gonna put my foot down and force myself to play this game coming up because I know it's gonna be good. I know I'm gonna really enjoy it. I love the concept of how what would happen if the Nazis won the war. I love that concept. There was a game that actually came out that was what would have happened if Winston Churchill had died in the car crash that put him into a cane. And obviously, the Nazis won the war. It, and it was just the whole aspect of it with Zeppelins, with the swastika symbol flying above New York City, and there are freedom fighters that are just getting trampled over in the streets. It was different, and it's very scary. Um, World War II was well, the world wars are a big fascination of mine. I think they should be for a lot of people. They should be something we should always try and avoid. But it's always a fun question to ask. What if? And games that are not afraid to go to a controversial topic like that are always super interesting, and they provide for a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
I got nothing.
Provide for a very well, I guess you could say original and
Unique.
yeah, unique idea.
Okay.
And I don't know. I feel like I'd be getting that from Wolfenstein. It's just I don't know. I'd need to force myself to sit down and play it.
Right.
Uh, unless you have anything else you want to say about it, I'm ready to give my rating.
No, I didn't even write it down. I don't have a rating at all.
I
So
didn't either, bro.
oh, you just winged all that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm still not going to give a rating, but if you want to give one, go for it. Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Uh, I'll give it a 6.5, just
Okay.
because I'm not sure what I personally will be expecting.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I mean, the rest of the Bethesda conference, other than that, can be We can probably blast through pretty quick. I mean, so the next one I have on my list is Doom Eternal. We literally only saw the one little like tease of that, but it was enough to know that I want that game. I still need to play the first one that they released recently, but I've seen enough gameplay of it to know how cool Doom is and how
Uh,
cool that reboot is and how much I want to play this next one. So,
I have like the original Doom downstairs,
oh
older
geez,
console. I've played it a bit. It hurts the eyes quite a bit, but
I
fuck.
bet.
Um,
Well, I mean, I also,
but yeah,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
but no, all I was gonna say was, yeah, the Doom games that have come out more recently, I am in love with. They're so fun. They're like high octane, just gore fests, and they're super fun to just sit back, relax, and play when you're not trying to be emotionally invested in a story. Like you're not gonna have The Last of Us making you cry 10 minutes in, kind of
Oh geez, why would you get me started on that?
thing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like the 5 minutes I was playing Doom on your Nintendo Switch was like I was having a blast. I had no idea what I was doing, zero context, just thrown in, destroy some aliens with a big ass gun and a chainsaw, and you're
Yo,
having a good
demons,
time.
bro. They're all from hell.
What?
They're, they're demons, bro. They're from hell.
Oh, yeah, but that's the thing. That's literally all you need to know about Doom, and then you just go in and fucking kill them. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I love about the series, and they're completely unapologetic about it, and that's why it works, and that's why I'll be getting Doom Eternal. I've given it a 7, just based
7?
off that teaser alone.
I'll give it an 8.
Oh, one upped. Okay, I see you.
And I'm so hyped.
All right. Other than that, we can just knock these out at the same time, maybe. The two title screens is basically what they were that they showed us for the next gen, uh, Elder Scrolls 6 and the new IP Starfield.
Honestly, yeah, from in terms of hype factor, I'm gonna go ahead and give them both a 10.
Yeah, like I'm super high, like, cause for the viewers at home, beware. I've never played an Elder Scrolls game. Always been a Fallout man. Tried Oblivion once, didn't like it. I'm sorry. Um, but I think if there's
Well,
ever a time that I'm gonna hop on this train, it's gonna be with Elder Scrolls 6 on the next gen.
and I think you should. I think you've missed out a lot. Well, let's see, the problem with you with Oblivion was that you hopped on the train really late, and like Fallout 3 had just came out, and
Hmm.
were super hyped with playing that. And the only reason you gave Oblivion the light of day was because of how much you were enjoying playing Fallout 3. And so you started playing Oblivion, and then you were like, wait, why am I playing this when I can play Fallout 3? And you didn't let yourself get as into it as you probably should have.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
then Skyrim came out, and then obviously you're like, fuck Oblivion. So you were like, fuck Skyrim. But yeah, with this new Elder Scrolls game coming out, I think you should really consider
Hmm.
playing it.
Yeah,
um, and
which I will.
Starfield, was that the name?
Yeah, Starfield. I mean, just like yes, please. Like a
Yes.
Bethesda game set in space that's free roam and on the next
Yeah.
gen, like sign me up.
And
I'm there.
it's like their first new IP in how long?
Oh God, true. Yeah, like fuck and forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. But before we jump off Bethesda, I still want to throw hype towards the Elder Scrolls mobile game,
Yeah, true.
just because that's going to be so cool.
Quick shout out there.
Well, it's gonna be just such a time killer, and I'm gonna get it on my Switch 100%. It's fucking free, and I can just pull it out whenever I want.
Yeah, it's
And
it's free. True.
the fact that you can like customize your own town in that game, and then you can invite your friends over. It's semi multiplayer. Like
Yeah.
that's just fucking awesome.
It's
And
amazing how well Bethesda has done in the mobile game scene, even though
well,
that's not where they make their bank.
yeah. And one thing though is, um, I know that the multiplayer on uh, Elder Scrolls Blades, I think is what it was called, or Blade,
Hmm.
um, one thing about it though, it was only multiplayer in the town aspect. But with how much that Bethesda even like, you know, constantly updates Fallout's Shelter, they update it so much. Like I don't know when the last time you played Fallout Shelter was, but you can actually send uh dwellers out on quests now. I just realized that when I started playing it again like 2 weeks ago. You can send them out on quests, and you can actually like partake in the quests.
Oh, really? I knew about
Yeah,
the
like you
quest
can.
aspect, but I didn't know you could partake.
Yeah, like you can. Well, obviously you send them from room to room. You have to tap areas to loot them,
Oh
and then
shit.
once you get to the final like room or the where the final boss is or whatever, there's like a dialogue option.
Fuck.
Yeah, like so with how much they have added to Fallout Shelter, I can only imagine that those like infinite dungeons on Blade are gonna turn into you can invite your friend over and
Mm,
fucking take down this dungeon together.
true.
That's gonna be so awesome. Anyway, yeah. So uh, yeah, I'm super hyped for that, and I think it's about time to give Bethesda a good old review on a whole.
Oh, sure, go for it.
Well, I'd give them a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
One of
I didn't
the best
do.
conferences I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do a rating. I didn't do ratings for any of the actual conferences, but yeah, like I said at the start, Bethesda, yeah, best conference from E3, and yeah, honestly, probably best conference I've seen since their last one where they announced Fallout 4. So
Yeah,
they know what they're doing with these things.
absolutely.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of our E3 podcast there. I figured that was as good a place as any to stop the first episode since, like I said, we did go on for an extra hour and a half after that. Um, yeah, you'll be getting Ubisoft and Sony in the next one. That'll be up soon enough. I'm gonna start working on it almost immediately after I've uploaded this, I think. And yeah, let us know what you think of our podcast, because we are thinking about doing more beyond the second episode of the E3 one, potentially doing a podcast a month. Is kind of what we're thinking because we've definitely got a lot of stuff that we like to talk about in terms of pop culture and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I know it probably wasn't the best podcast you ever heard. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, this is the first time we're ever trying something like this. So if you have any, constructive criticism, please let us know. We'd be happy to incorporate it because we know that it probably wasn't the smoothest ride there. So just bear with us as we refine our podcasting skills in the future. And yeah, look out for episode 2. Thank you so much for watching and peace.